Hopefully that is working now. Okay. Okay. Amazing. Hopefully that is working. So now I see some people have their note takers joining the meeting. So let me make sure that that's all. I guess I'll give permission because don't go away. All right. So some people seem to be stuck in the waiting room. I wonder why that is. Let me just send them a message. All right. So thank you so much for taking time to be here today. Oh, let me just also change one more thing. So many settings. There we go. Right. You can hear me now. Is that right? Can you hear me? Yes? Okay. And the audio is good? So you say. It was better before? Better before. All right. I'll change it back. All right. So you can hear me now. It's better? Awesome. All right. Thanks to all of you. Oh, let me also record. Okay. So officially, welcome. Thank you for taking time to be here. Today we're going to be exploring what I believe is a very important topic and something that can have a very positive effect in your life, starting immediately when you learn what it is that we're going to cover in the presentation today. This is going to be in two parts. For those of you who have attended these kinds of things with me before, you know these take place in two parts. So the first part, I'm going to be sharing with you some very important information about how to know your purpose, your true purpose, and how to live from that true purpose. That should take about the first half roughly. I'm aiming for this to be about an hour. I'm thinking it's probably going to go a little bit over, but probably about the first half hour to 40 minutes is going to be that part of the presentation. And then after that, for those who are interested in learning more about additional opportunities to explore this in
where we're just very tentative tiptoe steps.
Okay. So tiptoe steps between
please
Harry and his father,
change the setting here.
Potential happy families there.
So that nobody can unmute. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm going to too many settings that I forgot. So I'm gonna, the second part we'll explore for those who are interested in additional opportunities to explore this in more depth. We'll talk about what opportunities are available. So this is going to be interactive to a certain extent. So if you have things that questions, then please use the chat for that. I'm going to be primarily focused on delivering content to you because I want to give you value, but I'm going to also have the chat open so that I can see it, hopefully at the same time. And that way we can remain in communication as this is taking place. So I have created a slideshow presentation. So I'm going to share my screen with you. That will take me just a moment to get that going. Okay, you should be able to see my screen. Is that true? Can you see my screen? Yes? Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And I'm going to not be able to see your videos. I'm going to minimize videos on my screen, but I will be able to see the chat. So as I said, today's presentation is about how to find and manifest your true purpose. And so I'm going to start by just asking you some questions. So have you ever found yourself feeling lost in life? Have you ever been unsure what you should be doing with your life? Have you ever felt confused? Have you ever wondered if maybe you made a wrong turn in life? Do you ever have regrets? Do you ever find yourself scrolling on social media and feeling bad about your life? Do you ever experience envy of other people who seem to have it all figured out? Do you ever consult psychics, tarot, astrology, or other things like that for clues about your purpose? Do you sometimes feel that life is unfair? And do you ever experience the fear of missing out? Do you ever feel unworthy? Well, if you've answered yes to any of those, then it's almost certain that you are actually struggling with a lack of clarity about your true purpose. And I can say that with confidence for a number of reasons. One is because the actual truth is that the overwhelming majority of humans on this planet today lack clarity about true purpose. I would say more than 99.9%. And it's not your fault. It's not their fault. It's just because almost nobody knew. And so there was nobody to teach us. And by the way, those questions that I asked, those are not the only criteria to determine if you lack clarity about true purpose. And in today's presentation, you will get more clarity for yourself about how you can know what true purpose is and what that can do for you in your life. You see, true purpose gives you clarity, certainty, and direction in life. And so if you think about it, all of those questions that I asked you just a moment ago, those are all the result of not having that clarity, certainty, and direction in life. So when you have that clarity, certainty, and direction, then you don't allow those things to pull at your energy and your attention. Instead, you stay focused on what matters most to you. Now, I'm guessing that probably everybody here has either heard or read or maybe seen a movie about a story of a person who takes a quest, who undertakes a quest, who goes on a journey. And you know that in those stories, that person is always going to be encountering temptations and dangers. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be much of a story, right? And that mirrors our own lives. That's why we like these stories, because we can relate to them. Now, that character is going to encounter those temptations and they will be tempted. That person is going to encounter those dangers and they will be afraid. But what makes that person's story worth telling is that they had clarity of purpose, which allowed them to continue to move forward in the direction of what matters most to them, rather than getting off course because of those temptations and those dangers. Now, I also want to be clear with you that in this world, there are many people, and you probably know some of them, who will tell you that there is no such thing as purpose in life. They'll tell you that life is just empty and that it's just a grab what you can game. They'll say, hey, just try to have as much pleasure as you can and just try to avoid as much pain as you can. That's the best you can hope for. But I want to tell you two things about that. Number one, they are wrong. And number two, that message is harmful because it leads to despair. It leads to hopelessness. It leads to unnecessary suffering. And so that just simply don't believe those cynics. Now, I want to tell you a story briefly about a woman who had seemed to misplace her eyeglasses. And so she sets about looking for them, and she looks upstairs and she looks downstairs and she looks in the attic and she looks in the basement. She looks in the closets. She looks under the bed. She looks under the sofa. She looks in all of the cabinets. She looks in all of the drawers. She can't find it anywhere inside, so she goes outside. She looks in the lawn. She looks in the shed. She looks in the garage. She looks in her car. Finally, she gives up. She says, I guess they're gone forever. And in that moment, she turns around and she sees her own reflection in a mirror. And what does she discover? But she's been wearing those very eyeglasses the whole time. Now, the reason I told you that story is because of this very important principle. And if you were to only take a few things from this presentation today, this is one of them, because this is that important. Now, like many of the things that are so important, on the surface, it might seem like it's not all that important. It might seem like it's just this very obvious statement, but I promise you that if you note this down and you just reflect on this over many days, weeks, and months, you'll start to discover how important and useful this is to you. Okay, this principle is that you cannot find something where it is not. Just like that woman who was looking for her eyeglasses, but she was looking where they were not, so she couldn't find them. And that's the thing with those cynics. You see, the cynics, They tried really hard to find purpose. They got out their microscopes and their telescopes and they did the data analysis. And then they came to the conclusion, well, we've looked everywhere and we couldn't find it, and therefore there is no purpose. But see, what they didn't know is that they hadn't looked where it exists. They had only looked where it doesn't exist. So they drew the wrong conclusion. Okay, now at this point you say, okay, fine, I get it, but I still don't know how to find my purpose. Great, so that's what we're going to explore in this presentation. So what if I told you that your true purpose is actually hiding in plain sight, kind of like that woman with her eyeglasses? In fact, it is closer than your own shadow. And actually, it's just a simple shift in perception that will allow you to connect to your true purpose and begin to receive all of the gifts that that offers you. And some of those gifts are calm, focus, enthusiasm, ease, happiness, and harmony, plus some of those other benefits that I mentioned just a moment ago, such as clarity, certainty, and direction. Now, again, I want to emphasize that most people will continue to make the same basic mistake. And I'm going to repeat this many times because this is such an important point. Because if you don't understand this, if you don't understand how the masses of the people in this world are deluded by the wrong thinking, by the wrong messages, then you won't really understand and get the benefits for yourself of discovering where true purpose is. So most people are going to continue to make that same mistake. They're going to search in all the wrong places. And as a result, they're going to end up frustrated and disappointed. Now, a lot of people think, hey, look, I'm working really hard. And therefore, I'm going to find my purpose. I'm going to make my purpose. But they misunderstand because it's not about working hard. If it was about working hard, then look, there are a lot of people who are working really hard out there. I bet you know a lot of them. I mean, I bet you are one of those people because most people are working really, really hard. But it's not about working hard. It's about actually knowing where true purpose is. If you're looking in the wrong place, you can't find it. So if you're just working hard, it's often you're just spinning your wheels. Now, that old way of the mistake of working hard and struggling and straining that ultimately ends up in total disappointment, the way itself is miserable. The way itself is frustration. And I also want to be clear that there is a new way. And this new way is a way of flow and ease. It's not just about attaining something in the future where you can in the future have that promise fulfilled of then I'll get to have that ease and flow. But actually the way itself must match what it is that you want. And that way is available. So when you know that way, then you get to actually experience true fulfillment in every moment of your life. It's, again, not about something in the future. A lot of people make that mistake. They keep postponing. They think in the future I'll get it. But that's not how it works. When you know the secret of where true purpose is and how you can discover it, then you actually get to experience true fulfillment in every moment of your life. Now, again, I want to talk more about the mistake that people make. I've given you the broad overview of that mistake. Again, it's summarized by that principle that I gave you, that you can't find something if you're looking where it is not. But I want to go into more detail because once you understand this mistake, then the secret to success will actually become obvious to you. So I'm going to get to that in just a moment, but before I do, I want to very briefly tell you a little bit about how I actually myself came to discover this secret about true purpose. You see, like most people, I made the same mistake. And the reason why is because I did not have mentors growing up who knew any better. Just like most of you, I'm sure. You had people in your life who loved and cared about you, but they didn't know about true purpose. They didn't know where it exists. Many of them didn't even know that it exists. And so that was the case for me. And as a result, I was kind of just making it up on my own. And I thought that what I needed to do was to prove my worth by doing something important or impressive. Now, as a child, important and impressive is maybe seems kind of trivial, but as a child, I thought maybe that meant getting good grades in school. I thought maybe that was my purpose. I thought maybe that my purpose was to be a good boy and get approval from others. I thought maybe my purpose was to be responsible. Then as an adult, I still wasn't fulfilled. So I kept on searching. I thought at one point, I thought maybe my purpose is to work harder than everyone else. I thought maybe my purpose is to make a lot of money. I thought at one point in my life, I thought maybe my purpose is writing and performing music. I was really passionate about that at one point. I also thought maybe, hey, nothing else seems to be working. Maybe my purpose is to know everything and appear as smart. I thought maybe my purpose is to be dependable. And then I thought, gee, nothing seems to be working. Maybe my purpose is to solve other people's problems. And then finally I realized none of that is giving the results. Maybe I have to be perfect. Well, the harder I tried, the worse things got. And maybe you can relate to that. In fact, I grew more and more anxious, depressed, and desperate. And at a certain point, everything started to fall apart. It was in my late 20s to my early 30s. My the majority of my relationships fell apart. My career fell apart. My physical health fell apart. My mental health was severely deteriorating. I was a real mess, and I was really totally lost and confused. Now, I had tried so many things to try and figure all this out along the way, but the problem was I didn't fundamentally understand what the problem was. I didn't know even that I was really looking for true purpose. I couldn't have told you that necessarily. And even if I had known that, I wouldn't have known what true purpose was. And even if I had known that, I wouldn't have had the first clue where to look for true purpose. So as a result, I was just trying stuff to just throw stuff at the wall and see what would stick out of desperation. So I tried affirmations, I tried Reiki, I tried yoga, meditation, Qigong, psychedelics, fasting, therapy, hypnosis, retreats, on and on. Now, some of those things had value and benefits, but still in the end, I was just as lost. And it was when I was 33 years old, I reached rock bottom. Some of you have heard this story before. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I was severely emaciated. I was so fatigued, I could barely get up out of bed most days. I could also barely sleep. I could barely eat. I could barely keep any water in me. Things were really, really bad. I was, on top of that, I was angry. I was frustrated. I had resentments and regrets. So it was at that point that I prayed, and by a miracle, I received something. Now, it didn't come to me in words, but I received something that profoundly shifted the direction of my life. And when that occurred, I began to have some clarity of direction. And as I worked with that knowledge that I received, my life began to change. See, having direction made all the difference. It allowed me to know what was important and what was not. And so as that grew and grew, I stopped worrying so much about what other people thought of me. I stopped wasting my time on guilt, shame, or blame. I stopped looking in all the wrong places for what it was that I wanted most. And that was all because I had clarity about true purpose. As a result of that, my life really started to blossom. Things started to work. I regained health. I regained uh, 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 um, positive relationships, healthy relationships in my life. So many things began to work in my life that had previously just not worked at all. And so I became happier and much easier to be around. And my wife has confirmed this, by the way. I stopped trying to prove myself. My relationships became easier, and my experience of life became more pleasant. So now I'd like to take a moment to explore in more depth this common mistake that people make. So again, remember, it's summarized by that principle that you cannot find something if you're looking where it is not. But understanding the details of this can make a big difference. Now, as I see it, there are two basic strategies that people use when they're trying to find their purpose. The first of these is that they work hard, they try to create their purpose. So I described a lot of that in my story. I was working hard. I was trying to create my purpose by being good, by doing good, by all of these various strategies. So it's a lot of hard work trying to create it, trying to build it. And notice that all of this is really centering around identity. So we develop an identity or various identities, and then we attach our purpose to that. So I described that I had developed identities as a smart person, as a good person, as a person who makes money. People also develop their identities around roles such as being a parent or being an entrepreneur or being an advocate for a cause or being a teacher or whatever it might be. Now, the problem with that, well, first of all, sometimes that does seem to work, right? I mean, if it didn't seem to work at all, then I'm sure people would have given up on this long ago, but it does seem to work sometimes for a little while. But the problem is that it is like a house built on sand. It's shaky, it's unstable, and eventually it's going to crumble. And the reason is that the identities change. Just notice the truth of that. No identity is perfectly stable because through time, things are changing that are changing those identities. You know, if you want to be, if you're a parent, then that role as parent is only for a certain time, hopefully. I mean, some people never relinquish it, and that becomes very dysfunctional. But the reality of the identities are always changing, and that strategy therefore causes anxiety because if you're trying to pin your purpose on something that is always shifting, then you're going to feel unstable and anxious within yourself. Ultimately, that approach leads to disappointment and emptiness. I mean, there are a couple of classic examples. Think about the person who has built their identity and their purpose around their role in their career, and they work for decades in that career. And then when they retire, suddenly they're aimless, they're depressed, they're anxious, they're stressed. Another example, classic example, is what we call empty nest syndrome. It's when a person they build their purpose around the identity of being a parent, and then when their children grow into adults, suddenly they don't know who they are, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what their purpose is. Now, the second strategy is hoping life will magically reveal purpose. And by the way, most people use a combination of these two strategies at different times. It's not an either or. And this strategy is characterized by seeking and hoping, right? This is when you read the books and you go to the workshops and you consult the psychics and you take the psychedelics and you go to the ayahuasca retreat and you hope and hope and hope that something is going to be revealed to you, and like a magic wand will be waved and suddenly everything will be clear. But like the first approach, this one can sometimes seem to work for a little while for some people. However, like that first approach, it is not stable. It's not reliable. And this one leads to a lot of frustration and angst because it's also fundamentally quite disempowering. You're giving your power away. You're looking for something else, or someone else is going to give that to you. So ultimately, that one also ends up in disappointment and emptiness. Now, this might surprise you, but both of these strategies that I've just mentioned, so the first strategy is working hard to create purpose, and the second strategy is hoping and seeking for purpose through magical means, magical revelation. Both of these strategies, even though on the surface they seem to be quite different, they fail for the same fundamental reason. And it has to do with where people are looking for their purpose and fulfillment. So if you notice, both of these strategies define purpose based on what a person does. It's an external, it's externally validated. Now, of course, that's exactly what society teaches us. Isn't that true? I mean, most children in school, at least it used to be, would be invited at some point to write an essay on what they're going to be when they grow up, as if their purpose was defined by what they're going to do, by if they're going to be an astronaut and they're going to go into space, or if they're going to be a politician and enact laws. So that's what society teaches us, but that's wrong because your purpose is not about what you do. So this is another one of those really key things, if you were to only take a few things away from this, this is another one of them. Your purpose is not about what you do. And this is good news because you see, most of us have been trying to do the right things in order to get that satisfaction, and it doesn't work. And the reason is that it will never work. So it doesn't matter how much you try to do the right things, it will never give you the satisfaction that true purpose will give you, that true satisfaction that you're longing for. What it will give you is pain and suffering. So please hear this. If you continue to look for your purpose outside of yourself in what it is that you do, and you look for that to be validated externally, the result of that is pain and suffering, plain and simple. And still, people search outside of themselves. Like I said, I'm going to repeat this many times because it's so important. Despite the fact that it doesn't work, it never has worked, it never will work, people continue to do it. Now, it is an impossible task. There is no way to succeed in that. I want to be really, really, really clear. So I'm repeating a lot of the same things from different angles because there is no way to succeed in that. But a lot of the time, people will think that they're not succeeding because there's something wrong with them. Or they'll think they're not succeeding because there's something wrong with life, but that's not true. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with life. There's just something wrong with the belief. And that can be changed. That's what we're doing today. Now, meanwhile, most of society is pretending as though they are not suffering, as though they are not lost and confused. Isn't that true? And if you look at social media, you'll see it. You'll see people pretending as though they've got it all figured out. Look at me, I'm so happy, I'm so successful. I have all of the information. I've figured it all out. From here on out, it's going to be roses and rainbows. But that is a lie. It is an absolute lie. So please know that, and don't allow that lie to hurt you any longer. See, what very few people understand is that those very same people who are pretending to have it all, they're just like you. They're feeling just as lost, confused, frustrated, discouraged, and powerless as everybody else. Now, this reminds me of the story of the emperor's new clothes. Some of you will know this story because I often tell it, and you might know it otherwise because it's a fairly famous story, but I'll tell it to you briefly. You see, there are two con men, and they pretend to be tailors. And they approach the emperor, and they propose to make for him clothes that are so fine, so exquisite, that only people of great intellect can see them. Fools will perceive them as invisible. Now, the king's counselors are all so vain that they refuse to admit that they cannot see the clothes. They don't want to admit that they are fools. As a result, the emperor parades around the capital city in his underwear. Meanwhile, the crowd watching the emperor also refuses to acknowledge that they can't see the clothes because they too do not want to admit that they are fools. Now, the sad truth is that just like that crowd who would not admit that they could not see the emperor's new clothes, most people in this world would rather go to their grave completely unfulfilled rather than admit the truth that they are lost and confused. Those people will just keep on doing the same things, hoping and praying for different results, which, by the way, is a definition of insanity. But that is the state of the world. The state of the world is insane because if you just take a look, you'll see it's true. People are continually doing the same things, hoping for different results, even though those same things have never worked for anybody, and they never will. And this is the reason why 200 years ago, Henry David Thoreau wrote famously, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation." It was true then, and it's true now. This was long before social media, but it was still true then. Now, I want you to know that you can actually live a different kind of life than the masses. When you have the knowledge that you're receiving here today, you can begin to do things in a different way. You don't have to continue to do things in that old way. So please understand this. This is really important. To live a purposeful and fulfilling life is your birthright. You don't have to do spectacular and important and impressive things. It is your birthright, just by virtue of you existing. That's another important thing, okay? If you were to take away a few things, this would be one thing to note down. Because if ever you're in doubt, you want to remind yourself of this really important truth. You see, it's only because of the hypnosis of the world that it ever seems otherwise. Now, you can actually start right here, right now, in this very moment, by making a declaration. You can declare that you accept your birthright of purpose and fulfillment. It might seem like a small thing, but actually this is a very important thing. So I really encourage you to just notice, are you willing to make that declaration now? You don't necessarily know what to do next, but are you willing to at least start by doing that much? Now, here's a question. What reason would you possibly have to live a life of quiet desperation like the masses? Just think about that for a moment. Why would you do that? I'll tell you what I think. I think it's only because of fear. Does that seem true to you? That the only reason you would continue to live a life of quiet desperation is because of fear. So then the question is, are you going to let fear rob you of life? Now, here's another question. Just look in your heart and just notice, is there a yes in your heart, a yes to life, a yes that has not been completely squashed by the cynicism of this world, a yes that says, I'm actually willing to claim my birthright, a yes to I'm willing to actually live fulfillment, a yes to I'm ready to actually know my true purpose. Because if you find that there, then there's good news. It's time to draw a line in the sand. Because if you think back to when I described that character who goes on that quest with all the temptations and the dangers, they have to be willing to cross that line of that point of no return, because otherwise the temptation is to go back to lulled back into the ways of society. They say, just come and be like us. But you want to draw that line in the sand so that you can start to live this new life starting today. Now, this declaration, as important as it is, it's not enough for you to achieve success, because you actually have to have a new plan. Isn't that true? I mean, think about it. If you just cross the line and then there you are and you say, well, now what do I do? You're going to be very tempted to go back over to the other side of the line again. So you have to have a new plan. And in order to ensure your success, you also need the right knowledge and guidance, right? I mean, if you think about, again, the adventure, the quest, there's support, there are other people, there are characters, there are those who come and support and guide and provide that right knowledge and guidance. So now let's explore, where is true purpose found? So we've covered now what that mistake is. Hopefully that's clear to everybody, what the big mistake is that people make. So now let's switch gears a little bit and notice, where is true purpose found? So I want to tell you another story. This is a story about a world famous jewel thief. And he's known across the globe because he is the greatest jewel thief. Nobody can compare. One day, this thief sees a merchant who is purchasing the most exquisite diamond that this thief has ever seen. And the thief determines that he is going to steal that diamond from that merchant on that very day. Now, as the merchant leaves the shop and boards a train, the thief follows and also boards the same train. And while the train is in transit, the thief for hours uses all of his skill to try and locate and steal that diamond. And yet, hours later, when the train arrives at the merchant's destination and the merchant gets off of the train, the thief also follows and admits to himself defeat. But he is so curious. He needs to know, where is the diamond? How is it that he was thwarted? So he approaches the merchant and he says, sir, I am a thief of unmatched skill, and I had intended to steal your diamond, but I was unable to locate it. Despite my great abilities, please tell me where you hid it. My mind won't let me rest until I know how I was defeated. Now, the merchant, in response, reached his hand into the thief's pocket and produced the diamond from it. Smiling, the merchant said, I knew that you were a thief set on stealing this diamond from me, and so I hid it in the last place you would think to look. Your true purpose is like that diamond. You see, most people are looking outside of themselves for purpose, but the purpose is in the last place they thought to look. Purpose has been hidden in your very own heart. Your true purpose is found inside. It's not outside. You'll never find it out there. It's only inside. And the moment that you determine that that's the only place that you will look for it, your life changes. Also, very important, your true purpose is what you are. It's not what you do. Now, these are so important that they could go in one ear out the other ear, and you could just, leave this presentation at the end and go about your life and forget about this, but I hope that you don't. So make a note of this, because this is so important. If you just were to accept this and work with this, this can change your life. Again, if you look in the wrong direction, you will never find what you're looking for. Now, here's another important clarification, because now I've said, where is your purpose? It's within you. But now, what is it? Because you might start looking inside and you might say, well, is it this? Is it that? But here's what it is. Your true purpose is your innate wholeness. So just take a moment right now and just see what you can notice. Just look within yourself and notice, before the next thought arises, what is here? And perhaps you will catch a glimpse that there is this infinite space here that cannot be described, that cannot be captured, that cannot be held, but that is actually always here at the heart of you. It is you, and it is whole, it is complete. You are fundamentally whole and complete. And as you reside there, as you allow yourself to be saturated in that, your life changes. As that happens, that purpose shines forth as fulfillment, because it's a revelation of your inherent wholeness. There's nothing you need to do for it. It just happens. Now, still, despite this fact, most people continue to look outside themselves. And you could make that mistake. But I hope you don't. So please reflect on these things. See, if you think about this for a moment, since you are whole, that means you are missing nothing. Does that make sense? You are whole, that means you are missing nothing. But notice, if you search outside of yourself, what does that mean? That is an affirmation that you are lacking something. Why on earth would you look for something unless you were missing something? If you look outside of yourself, you are affirming, I am incomplete. I am lacking. So that is why it is such a big mistake, because every time you search outside of yourself, you are just going in the wrong direction and affirming lies. Now, I will admit that sometimes a person thinks momentarily that they have found their purpose outside of themselves, in those identities, for example, right? So a person temporarily, they're riding a high and they say, I finally found my purpose. And in that moment, they temporarily experience what they consider to be a sense of satisfaction, which, by the way, pales in comparison to the true satisfaction of true purpose. But for a moment, they catch something and they say, wow, this is satisfaction. This must mean that I found my purpose. But notice, it's conditional, because it depends on those external conditions. It depends upon that role, that identity, the circumstances, the validation from others, and so forth. The moment those conditions change, which they will, and far sooner than you hope, everything crumbles. So this one bit of knowledge that you have discovered today, just this one thing, that true purpose is inside and not outside, can radically change your life for the better. But only if you're willing to work with it sincerely. So I've stressed this several times. Just hearing this is not enough. So again, let's be really honest about this. Just hearing this once is not going to change much for you. If you're still hoping that I'm going to wave a magic wand and then everything is poof going to be rainbows and roses, then you're fooling yourself and you're robbing yourself of what's possible for you. You need to work with this knowledge in the right ways repeatedly so that you can actually be very certain and clear for yourself about the truth of this. Only then is it real for you. Only then can it begin to actually alter your thinking, your beliefs, your behaviors, and your perceptions. And that allows you to integrate the knowledge into your life. And when you do that, things change, not only on the inside, but on the outside, because there is a law of correspondence. When you make the changes inside, when you discover that wholeness inside of yourself and you discover all of the qualities of that, that begins to radiate and be reflected in your outer experience. Instead of grasping for it in the old way, struggling and straining while it's just slipping through your fingers like water, you actually keep your focus inside and allow that to radiate outside, and everything is transformed in ways that you could not even have dreamed of. And that's the truth. Now, I invite you to think back over the past few days and notice how much of your time has been consumed by overthinking, stress, worry, frustration, anger, anxiety, and other unwanted experiences. Those are all the result of being lost and confused. It's just about not knowing your true inner purpose. When you know your true inner purpose, you won't waste your time and energy on those things. I'm not saying that things will always be rosy, that of course life has ups and downs, but you don't have to waste your time and energy on it any longer. Just like that hero who's taking that quest, they're not distracted by the temptations or the dangers because they know where they're going. And that's possible for you. It's possible for you to begin to experience calm, clarity, ease, and real happiness. And you can experience, this is important, all of that in every moment of your life. Now, I know that seems like a really bold claim, but test it out. You'll see that it's true. It really honestly is. And that's true regardless of what appears to be happening. This is all the natural result of discovering your true purpose, and that exists inside of you. So today I've shared with you some very important knowledge, and I know that some of you are going to recognize how valuable this is. You're going to see that I've provided you with a map. So you're going to see that this can be life-changing, but there are some of you who are not quite sure how to make use of what you've learned today. So I just want to recap very briefly. You see, again, most people will squander their entire lives in ignorance, suffering needlessly. They're going to be looking for their purpose outside of themselves, and it's going to be in vain, because real purpose, that purpose that truly fulfills, it's not outside, it's inside. And today I've affirmed that truth for you, which is that true purpose exists, and that true purpose both emanates from and reveals your inherent wholeness. When you discover this for yourself, this is going to transform both your inner reality and your outer reality. I want to be clear about that. Both inner and outer. You don't have to choose between the two of them. When you choose correctly, when you choose in alignment with the truth, you get all of it. That is definitely possible. And your actions will be aligned with your inner purpose. And that's going to make your life pleasant, truthful, and wholesome. Look, most people are still wandering around blindly, groping for purpose. But you now have the secret, which can help you to achieve success. So with this knowledge, as long as you persist in investigating within yourself, you are certain to succeed. If you want to get the full benefits, it requires that you go all the way. Going halfway is not enough. You need to go all the way. You need to complete that journey within yourself. And today, we just started that. I mean, realistically, in the space of this amount of time, we can only get started on that. So if you would like to learn more about opportunities to continue this journey with me, then I would be really happy to share that with you now. So I'm going to now take some time to share with you about what I've got available so that we can explore this further together. Now, as you probably know, A lot of us have been struggling alone. And you know how you know how hard that is. You know, you're just trying to cobble together something from books and newsletters and YouTube videos and all the rest of it. The problem is that without a system and without expert guidance and support, usually just results in frustration. And it's worse than that because it ends up costing a lot of time and energy, and you have very little to show for it. Now, obviously, I know what that's like. I told you my story. You know, I did that too. And that's why it's important to me to create something that solves that problem. That way you don't have to go it alone any longer. So I've put together something which can allow you to get easier, faster, more reliable results. And that is the Self Mastery Academy. So I'm going to share with you some information about Self Mastery Academy now. And we'll start by explaining what the intention of Self Mastery Academy is. As the name suggests, it's about self-mastery. Well, what does that mean? That means knowing who you are, knowing what your powers are, and how to work with your powers so that you can experience what you truly want, both on the inside and on the outside. And this is true, by the way, and I want to be clear that this applies whether you want more financial success, improved relationships, better health, spiritual growth, or simply to experience more inner peace and unconditional happiness. So that's the purpose of Self Mastery Academy. It's to support you in achieving new levels of success in all areas of your life. So there are three major components to Self Mastery Academy, because a lot of things out there, they might provide one, but not all of these. So one of them is community. One of them is support, and the other is knowledge. When you have all three of these together, real magic can happen for you. Now, Self Mastery, should say Academy, is designed so that you can tailor it to your unique needs, desires, and preferences. So I'm going to be outlining all of what's included in Self Mastery Academy in just a moment, but I want to be clear that this is something that you can tailor to your preferences, and I'm here to support you in that process. So that's back to the support piece. You don't have to go this alone. You can tell me what it is that you're wanting, and I can help you to craft a path specific to you that can help you to achieve what it is that you want. So let's talk about what's actually included. So first of all, we have a members only weekly Zoom coaching session. So this is a group coaching session. And some of you are probably presently members of the Self Mastery Coaching Program. And you might be wondering, what is this Self Mastery Academy? I've never heard about it. It's because it's new, and everybody who is a member of Self Mastery Coaching has been automatically upgraded to Self Mastery Academy. So you're going to get everything that was already included in Self Mastery Coaching, plus everything that's now included in Self Mastery Academy. So this members only weekly Zoom group coaching session was previously part of what we called Self Mastery Group Coaching. And so that was where this all began, which was, I don't even remember how long ago. This was like 2 years ago now. And we started out by meeting once a week by Zoom for 2 hours. And it's just an amazing opportunity and an amazing experience, because any questions that you have, any doubts that you have, I can support you in finding your answers, the answers within yourself that can truly satisfy you and help you to achieve what it is that you want. I can also, and I do, coach people right then and there in the group context so that people can release limiting beliefs, so that people can get greater clarity, so that people can resolve conflicts that they're having, emotional conflicts within themselves or in relationships with others, so that people can get clarity about their deeper values and how to live in harmony with those. So many things are possible. It's a really awesome opportunity. And because it's in a group setting, something really amazing happens, which is that other people in the group will often ask questions that you didn't even know that you had, but as soon as that person asked the question, you realize, wow, I had that question. And so you can get answers to questions that you didn't even know that you had by participating in these. So I'm just going to, for the sake of clarity, I'm going to be keeping tabs of everything that's included. So the first thing is the weekly live group coaching calls. Now, second of all, I record all of the group coaching sessions, which means that if you can't attend live, then you can also watch those recordings, which is very valuable. Plus, when you join Self Mastery Academy, you get access to all of the archives of all of the recordings of all of those group coaching sessions and ongoing. So that's also included. So that's the second thing that's included in Self Mastery Academy is access to all the recordings of the past group coaching calls. Next, we have just created an exclusive online community for Self Mastery Academy. So this is amazing. We've just created this for Self Mastery Academy, but we have other communities for other programs which are very vibrant and awesome opportunities. So I know that this is going to be also equally, if not even more awesome than those. And this offers an opportunity. If you have any questions or doubts or anything that you need to get cleared up or support with, you don't necessarily have to wait until the next group coaching call. You can post that in the community and get support either directly from me or possibly from other members of the Academy. So it's an awesome opportunity that's available 24/7. So that's the third thing that's included. So we've got the live group coaching calls every week. We've got the access to all of the recordings of the past calls, plus the exclusive online community. So I've covered now something about the community and the support aspects, but there's also the knowledge. So you'll recall that I had that slide with the triangle. So community, support, and knowledge. So when it comes to knowledge, for about the past year, I've offered a workshop every fourth Friday. And when you join today, you're going to get access to the archives of all of those workshops. So some of the topics that are included in those, there's 11 or 12. I don't remember how many off the top of my head. But some of those include how to visualize, even for those who think they can't, freeing yourself of hidden energy drains, tapping into the power of forgiveness, how to be the person who naturally has success rather than trying to do success. You can be the person who naturally has success, and much more. So all of that is also included. So all of those workshops are included. So we've got the live group coaching calls every week, the recordings of those, the online community, plus the library of workshops, all included in Self Mastery Academy. Now, recently, I changed the format of those monthly workshops because as awesome as those were, I realized it would be really nice if we could go into more depth. And so instead of just offering a 2-hour workshop once a month, I'm now offering a workshop that lasts for an entire month. So we meet once a week. So that's 4 weeks on a single topic. And this is with a live cohort. So every month approximately. So as I said, each course runs for typically 4 weeks. And this month, starting this month, we're going to be doing the Living on Purpose course, which is why I gave the presentation about your true purpose, because living on purpose is the opportunity to go into a lot more depth specifically about true purpose. And that's going to be starting this month. So for anybody who is a member of Self Mastery Academy, you will have the opportunity to participate in the live cohort for this course. So it's going to run for 4 weeks. And when you begin this workshop, you're going to start immediately to experience the benefits. So this is not something that you're going to start to see benefits a year from now. You'll start to see the benefits immediately on the first workshop of the series. Now, here's an overview of the 4 weeks. So the first week, you're going to learn a secret that allows you to free yourself of anxiety and doubt in an instant. So I know that for many of us, having anxiety and doubt and worry and stress can eat at our energy and our state and put us into a lot of unwanted circumstances in our lives. And you do not have to allow that to happen any longer, because in week 1, you're going to learn how to stop that immediately. So in week 2, you're going to discover the hidden blueprint of fulfillment that's going to allow you to focus on what truly matters to you. Instead of looking outside of yourself for what matters to me, what's important, you can actually find that within yourself, and you'll be able to discover that quickly in that very workshop in week 2. In week 3, you're going to learn how to shape your reality unconsciously, or rather how you do shape your reality unconsciously, and how you can make some simple changes, which are going to change that so that it's automatic. And in week 4, you're going to discover how to turn even apparent difficulties into opportunities so that you can deepen true fulfillment. So, of course, I can't do the work for you. That's up to you, but I do want to make it as easy as possible for you to get fast and lasting results. So that's why it's a live course. So when you participate in the live cohort, you're going to have the opportunity to join the live workshops where you're going to get guided through all of that. So you're going to get the results then and there. You're going to be able to ask any questions, resolve any doubts, so that you can just build upon that and grow that. So that's the next thing that's included in the Self-Mastery Academy is the invitation to join us for the Living on Purpose live course over the next 4 weeks. I see some questions in the chat. I'll respond to all of those questions in just a moment. Now, there's more to it, to the Academy as well, because every month you're going to have the opportunity to join a new live course. So in the coming months, I've got some courses planned, and these include how to shift your money identity. It's not about how to do more things in order to get money, but it's about shifting your identity. Cultivating self-love, very, very important topic that can really have a tremendous positive impact on all areas of your life. Joyful relationships, so you don't have to be giving your power away, looking for other people to validate you, constantly afraid of rejection and all of that. You can actually have joyful relationships. We're going to explore releasing trauma. We're going to also explore dropping the mask and living your true self, freeing yourself from the approval trap, and also rewriting your subconscious for automatic manifestation. We're also going to explore developing true self-esteem. This is a very misunderstood topic, and I'm going to be happy to explore that with you so that you can benefit from the proper understanding of what self-esteem really is. So also, when you are a member of Self-Mastery Academy, you're going to have the opportunity to suggest topics that you'd like to explore in these live cohorts in months to come. So it's really an interactive process that involves you and your participation to help shape the entire program. So that's also included is invitations to join the future monthly live courses. That is, as long as you remain a member. So not only are you going to get access to the live cohorts each month, but also you're going to get access. Went back. You're also going to get access to the growing library of past courses. Now, at this time, there's just one course in there because we just started this deeper dive approach last month, and that was with the Living Fearlessly course. So Living Fearlessly is all about, as the name suggests, living fearlessly. So it's about releasing the negative emotional charges attached to things in your life, the associations, so that you can actually live with clarity and freedom and ease and peace of mind and body. That's all possible through living fearlessly. So you're going to get also access to that growing library of recorded courses, which will just continue to add more and more value and improve your life. Carl says it gave him his life back, referring to living fearlessly. Yeah, it's an awesome course. So now let's just talk about what your investment is for Self-Mastery Academy. So as I mentioned, Self Mastery Academy is the latest evolution of what started out as self mastery coaching. And despite the fact that we have added so much more value, the investment remains the same as self mastery coaching did in the beginning. So it's like, I don't know, five, six, 7 times the value, but the investment remains the same. So when you join today, you're going to get all of these things. So the total value is more than $4,600, and you can get that. You get access for just $97 a month. So it's important to me to make things accessible. So I think that you'll agree that that is an incredible opportunity to have access to all of that, the knowledge, the support, the community, for just $97 a month. Now, we've just added some additional options. So I think some of you are going to be really happy to learn about this. As I said, by the way, for those who are current members of Self Mastery Coaching, we've automatically upgraded you to Self Mastery Academy. So you are already members of Self Mastery Academy as long as you have a current membership or you had a current membership in Self Mastery Coaching. But what you'll probably know, for those of you who are current members, is that with Self Mastery Coaching, we just had one membership tier, which was a monthly subscription. But we've just added additional options to save you more money. So for most of us, Self Mastery is a process that lasts longer than a month, right? And so if you consider the monthly rate of $97, 3 months is just $291. However, if you want to subscribe at a quarterly subscription rate, we now offer that opportunity, and that's just $197 per quarter. So that saves you nearly a third off of what your investment would be if you were subscribing at the monthly rate. And by the way, that is a lifetime rate that you can lock in. So $197 per quarter. But we can do even better than that. So for those who know that they are interested in really committing to investing in themselves, if you want to subscribe at an annual subscription, then we're going to give you even greater savings. So if you were to subscribe at the rate of $97 per month, then 12 months is still just $1,164. But we're now offering a annual subscription rate of just $597 per year. So that is nearly half off. I think you're going to be really happy about that. Many people have been members for at least a year now. So if you want to subscribe at the annual rate, you can just be saving from here on out. So obviously that makes a lot of sense if you are committed to self-knowledge and growth in all areas of your life. And by the way, when you join at that annual subscription rate, that means that you're going to ensure that you're going to have the opportunity to participate in all of the live cohorts throughout the year. So remember, approximately every month, there's going to be a new live course. And when you subscribe at the annual rate, you don't have to, it's just set it and forget it. You can know that you're going to have those invitations month after month. Now, today, we're also offering a special offer just for the first 25 people who subscribe at the annual rate. Because, look, I know how it is. Sometimes there's a clear choice that you know is the right thing for you. You want to invest in yourself, but there's that little part of you that's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, what if? But look, I want to support you and encourage you in choosing to invest wisely in yourself. So for the first 25 people who join today, we're giving you an additional $200 off. So just $397 per year. That, by the way, is for lifetime. So you lock in the annual rate if you're one of the first 25 people who joins. So that's just $397 lifetime per year. And even if you are not one of the first 25, there's still going to be some additional savings as long as you join in the next 3 days. So if you join in the next 3 days, then we're still going to give an additional $100 off the annual subscription rate as a as a gift, because this is a launch of Self Mastery Academy. So we want you to be able to take advantage of that. So for anybody who subscribes at the annual rate in the next 3 days, doesn't matter how many people, after the first 25, it just goes to $497. That is also a rate that you can lock in. So when you subscribe in the next 3 days, if you're not one of the first 25, your rate will be $497 per year for as long as you are a member. So if you want to get started, then you can just go to joeylott.com/join, and hopefully I have that here so that I can, yes, I'll paste that in the chat. So you can just click on the link in the chat and you can get signed up there. By the way, if you are already a member, so again, if you were previously a member of Self-Mastery Coaching, you've been upgraded automatically. So you don't have to do anything. You just are automatically still a member of, you've been upgraded to Self-Mastery Academy. However, if you would like to take advantage of these quarterly or annual rates, you can do that. The way to do that, the easiest way to do that is just to go to that link, joeylott.com/join, and sign up now. That way, if you want to take advantage of the first 25 offer and get $200 off for the annual subscription, you can do that. And then you can just email support@joeylott.com and we can give you a refund prorated for your current month of your subscription. So we'll take care of the details. If you want to just sign up now, you can get those discounts. So I also want to point out that this is a risk-free investment, because like all of my programs, I want you to get the results. And so if you try the program for up to 30 days and you decide it's not for you, or for whatever reason you want a refund, no problem, just ask, it's yours. I've had very few refund requests over the years, but it does happen sometimes. Usually the only reason it happens is because sometimes people, they like get an unexpected bill or something and they're just not sure how to pay that bill and they ask for a refund, and I say, yeah, totally fine, here you go. So any reason whatsoever, if you ask for a refund, it's yours. So it's free to, in a sense, it's a risk-free way to try this for 30 days. And by the way, we're also going to offer something else for people who join in the next 3 days. And this applies at any subscription level. So whether you're monthly, quarterly, or annually, we're going to give you 3 additional bonuses. So, and by the way, these are yours to keep regardless of whether you decide to stay or not. So if you decide that you want a refund within 30 days, totally cool. And these bonuses remain yours to keep. So first one says bonus 3. Obviously I can't count. Should say bonus 1, which is Peaceful Possibilities. So this was this was actually the first program that I created in this genre, if you will, in 2013. And I was recently going through the archives of content, and I came across it, and I was really amazed by how awesome it is. It's really held up incredibly well. It's very valuable, and I'm excited to be able to share this with you. In this course, you're going to learn 6 important principles and 3 powerful exercises which can help you to discover unshakable peace, hence the name Peaceful Possibilities. it really is just an awesome course. It's really jam-packed with value, and as an additional kind of novelty, you get to see me what I looked like in 2013. So that's the first bonus, and that's valued at $200. Bonus number 2 is discovering your authentic power. So discovering your authentic power uh, is a set of guided inquiries that allow you to feel and act with authentic composure and calm in all situations in life. So uh, these are just as it says on the screen, they're guided inquiries. So there's just a set of guided inquiries, and you can just play them and follow along at your leisure whenever you want. And as you do repeatedly, these will start to make a change for you, because you're going to be discovering things about what your actual experience is, how reality is actually happening in your direct experience. So these are really, really powerful, even though they're deceptively simple. And that's valued at $50. And then the third bonus is it looks more esoteric than it is, but it's called Metaphysics, Magic, and Healing. I think some people who are present here today actually participated in this. This was a live workshop series that I offered in 2019. And it's a deep dive into the power of direct experience and how to use simple explorations to radically transform your manifest life from the inside out. So it's it's an awesome opportunity, and that's the third bonus, valued at $100. So this is a summary of the bonuses that are available. So you can see it's a total value of $350, and that's yours just for trying Self Mastery Academy. So anybody who joins at any subscription level will get access to those forever. I mean, for as long as I'm hosting a website. Those are yours. And so, again, if you want to join, it's joeylott.com/join. I'll just put that in the chat again, since there's been some other messages. And so just want to, again, make sure that everybody's clear. If you're a current member, if you were a member of Self Mastery Coaching and you've now been upgraded to Self Mastery Academy, if you want to continue monthly, you don't have to change a thing. It's just going to be automatic upgrade. But if you want to take advantage of the savings for quarterly or annual subscription, my recommendation, as I said before, is just join using that link that I just posted in the chat. That way you can take advantage of those savings, and then email support@joeylott.com, and somebody on my team will take care of giving you a prorated refund on your most recent payment. Also, just a note, members of APT, and you know who you are, you also automatically have been upgraded to have access to Self Mastery Academy, so you don't have to do anything. So that's just, you just don't do anything, because that's just how it is. So that's all set. Now some questions. These are some common questions that I'm anticipating people might have, and then I'll also take time after this to address any question that you might have. So I'll focus on the chat in just a moment after I answer these common questions. So first one is, you might be looking at all of what's included in Self Mastery Academy and say, wow, there's so much, I'm so busy, do I have to do all of it? And no, you do not have to do all of it. As you might recall, I said that this is designed so that you can tailor it to your specific needs, and I am here to support you and guide you so that you can have a plan for achieving what it is that you want. So you don't have to go it alone, and you don't have to do all the things. So you can pick and choose. And by the way, just so that this is clear, because sometimes some people have this doubt too, which is connected. Even though we we have many different angles that we come at these things from, fundamentally underneath all of it are a common set of principles. So it's not really so much about new principles or new knowledge in that sense, but rather it's about understanding it from different angles. So we come at it from the angle of relationship. We come at it from the angle of money. We come at it from the angle of self-esteem. We come at it from the angle of, manifesting your dream house, whatever it is, so that you can really understand how all of these principles work in you, in your life, so that you can really have clarity of your true purpose, so that you can live from that true purpose, so that you can experience that peace and freedom in every day, every moment of your life, so that you can have that clarity of direction, so that you can make wise choices, so that you can use your energy in good ways, so that you can experience fulfillment. So just wanted to clear that up. So I guess this is really the question that I was just answering. But some people might be prone to overwhelm. And I just want to be clear that you don't have to worry about that, because again, I'm going to be here. I am here to support and point you in the right ways, and to make sure that you can stay focused on what's going to give you the results that you want. So don't worry about it. And also, like I said, it's really about the same underlying fundamental principles. So it's not that much in terms of, like, you don't have to ever concern yourself that you're going to have to memorize a bunch or be tested or anything. You're definitely going to be able to succeed with this. Another question people might wonder, who is this for? Actually, it's for anyone who's tired of going it alone. If you're ready for community, knowledge, and support so that you can achieve success, then this is for you. Some people might want to know, when are those sessions, the live sessions, scheduled? So we've got the weekly group coaching calls. Those take place on Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Living on Purpose, which is the live cohort for this month, is going to be on Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. If those times do not work for you, remember that I record everything and make those recordings available to you. You have access to the online community. You can get your questions answered that way. So this can definitely work for you. Many, many, many people have made use of these things, even though they couldn't attend the sessions live. I've had people from Thailand. I've had people from Australia. I've had people from, you name it, all across the globe, who have participated. And even though it was inconvenient or just unrealistic for them to participate live, they were still able to get the benefits. So it can definitely work for you. I already answered this question. So some people might also wonder, if you've joined Manifesting Truth in the past. So Manifesting Truth is another program that I offer. That's a complete program for understanding how reality actually is constructed, how your experience is constructed, and how to work with those principles. So if you've joined that in the past, you might wonder if you have access to, I should say, Self Mastery Academy. It depends. The answer to that is it depends. So Manifesting Truth includes 9 weeks access. So it used to include 9 weeks access to self-mastery coaching, but now we're changing that, so it's going to include 9 weeks access to Self-Mastery Academy. So if you're currently a member of Manifesting Truth in the first 9 weeks, then you've been upgraded to Self-Mastery Academy for the duration of the remainder of those 9 weeks. So if you're still in the first 9 weeks, then you have access until the end of those 9 weeks. After those 9 weeks, your access to Self Mastery Academy ends unless you choose to subscribe. And at the end of those 9 weeks, we will automatically give you the information if you decided that you wanted to join then. However, if you know now that you definitely want to join, it would make sense. I think it could make sense for you to choose to join now anyway, especially mostly if you want to take advantage of the quarterly or mostly the annual savings. Because if you join now, you can probably get access to the $200 off rate for the annual subscription if you're one of the first 25, or if you subscribe in the next 3 days, you can get the $4.97 rate. So that's of course up to you, but it might make sense. So those those are the questions, the common questions, and now I'll turn to the chat, and I will respond to any questions that you might have there. Let me actually, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So let me just see if so if you have questions, please let me know in the chat. And I'm just looking to see if there were any questions here as we were going. I think I had seen one. Oh, so Anna Maria says, where is this course? I can't see it when I log in with my account under all courses, or am I looking in the wrong spot? So Anna Maria, it depends. Like I said, if you're off the top of my head, I don't know what you are currently a member of. So if you're currently a member of Self Mastery Coaching, then you should see everything. We might not have changed the names of some things yet, so that's a possibility. But if you are a member, or if you were subscribed as a member of Self Mastery Coaching, then you can trust that you will be upgraded, and you will have access to everything. If it's not already available or showing up in your library, it will. If you have doubts about that, you can email support@joylot.com and somebody will get that taken care of for you. If you're not currently a member, or if you were not subscribed as a member of Self Mastery Coaching, and you're not within the first 9 weeks of your Manifesting Truth membership, then you would not, you should not expect to see any of the Self Mastery Academy content in your library until you subscribe. Hopefully that answers your question. Just also some comments from people. Nitu says, Living Fearlessly is one of Joey's best courses, hands down. Yeah, so that's, just to be clear, that's included. The Living Fearlessly was the live course last month, and that's, the recordings of that are included in Self Mastery Academy for anybody who joins. EB says, thank you for so much flexibility, makes it affordable for everyone. I agree. Thank you for letting me know that you appreciate that. Frank says, if my true purpose is within me and comes with doing, how will the program do this without doing? Comes with doing, how will the program do this without doing? So the point that I was making is that your purpose is not about doing. It's not defined by doing. Some skillful application of some inquiries or processes could help you to reveal that clarity of purpose within yourself. I'm not saying that no action is going to happen. I'm just saying that it's not about, your purpose is not defined by what you are doing. Hopefully that's clear. If that's not clear, you can ask again and I'll try again. Damir says, I have joined annually. Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Jean-Michel says, to be honest, my inner growth skyrocketed since I met Joey. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for letting me know. John says, I'm in the UK and on benefits, so very limited resources. How, or is it possible to join if I don't have the funds available? Well, if you have, so, I mean, I've really done my very best to make this as accessible as possible financially. If you believe that if you have an alternative proposal that you would like to run by me, I'm willing to hear it. You could email me, but I would suggest that if you say you have very limited resources, I think that it sounds like you have some limited beliefs, that you would definitely benefit from participating, because it could help you to free yourself of those beliefs so that you could realize how many resources you actually do have. Uh, so if you could find a way to come up with even just the first month, then we could work together in that time to support you in freeing yourself of some of those limited beliefs that would allow you to establish a new relationship with life and with money, so that it would be most likely that you would start to have more funds available. That's my best suggestion off the top of my head. Nitu says, I've had more inner growth in the last 19 months compared to the last decade. Joey's approach and lessons have completely transformed me. Thank you for letting me know, Nitu. So Anna Maria, if you joined Manifesting Truth less than 9 weeks ago, then you should have access to everything. If it's there, maybe I'm not sure if the bonuses. Oh, well, the bonuses are only for people who are joining today, so you won't. You only get the bonuses if you join. If you subscribe in the next 3 days, but you should see. It's possible that Self Mastery Academy is still called Self Mastery Coaching in your library. So if you and you would see Self Mastery Live class should be in your library. You should see these coaching calls should be in your library. If you don't see those things, and you're in the first 9 weeks, then email support@joeylott.com and we will get that taken care of for you, because you should definitely see those things if you're within the 9 weeks. If it's after the 9 weeks, then you would not see those things, because the we include a 9-week trial as a bonus for Manifesting Truth. But after 9 weeks, you have to subscribe in order to continue. PR says, I'm hoping to join, but I feel like I want a session to work with you about my one biggest worry and hope to manifest. Could I do that in the group call, or does it require an individual session? So in the group session, we take time to the way that those are structured is that we do a brief group practice at the beginning, and then the rest of the time is dedicated to whoever is present. So and then we just take turns. So it's first come, first serve. So whoever has gotten in queue first, we just go through the queue, and I encourage everybody to have clarity about what question they want to ask or what it is they want to communicate, so that we can stay focused and resolve whatever that is, and be considerate of other people at the same time. So we wouldn't likely take like a full hour just one-on-one in the group setting, but we would take some time. I mean, it's not unusual to take up to 20 minutes as appropriate or necessary. Sometimes much less time is appropriate. So I don't know if that answers your question. If not, you can let me know. Johanna says, is this American value? I'm not sure. Is that a I'm not sure if that's a joke. Simi says, can I pay the annual amount in 3 months, or do you need it all at once? So the annual amount is annual only. So if you want to do 3 months, that would be quarterly. So that's $197 per quarter. PRH. So I just responded to the question. Bill says, you're making is it worth it a reality? I think there's a typo there, so I'm not sure. Shivani says, just joined. Great. Welcome, Shivani. I'm glad to see you here. Any other questions from anybody? Otherwise, we can wrap up. Well, thanks so much to all of you for taking time. Oh, Loic says, can I come in unmuted and go against the grain a little? uh, if you have a question, that's what you're asking. Because if you have a question, then you'd rather ask it rather than type it. I'm happy to happy to hear from you. Molly says, "You live with family or alone?" I have a family. That's not. I'm not sure that's relevant to to the uh, academy, but yes, I have a family. Rachel wants to know what's the biggest difference between this program and Manifesting Truth. Great question. So, Manifesting Truth is intended to be a complete course with everything, all the fundamental lessons and principles that are required in order to understand who you are and your relationship, your powers in your relationship with reality, so that in the context there is that you want to be able to consciously manifest your experience in alignment with your values. So that course provides all of the essential lessons for that. That's what that does. And then we also include as a bonus with Manifesting Truth 9 weeks of Self Mastery Academy so that you can also get the support and community that's available in Self Mastery Academy. But Manifesting Truth is more of a, despite the fact that we do offer that bonus of the support and community for 9 weeks, Manifesting Truth is designed to be more like do it yourself. And then Self Mastery Academy is designed to be that community and support that uh, can help you in actually integrating all that into your life. So, but then we also provide, because there are many other angles or topics that people are interested in Self Mastery Academy, we also have courses on those things. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, you can let me know. Um, and Loic, I didn't get a response, so I'm not sure if you're wanting, if you have a question and you you can just let me know. If you have a question and you want to ask it, you can let me know and then I can allow you to unmute. Damir, I don't know if this is a different Damir. Do we have two Damirs here today? Just one Damir. So Damir seems like just one Damir, but Damir says, I really wish that my investment would work. Oh, I see. You're hoping your investment will work. Got it. Oh yeah. So PR says, do I also have access to Manifesting Truth with annual membership? And Jean-Michel answers that, says it's a Manifesting Truth is a separate course, which is accurate. Simi says, does this help in awakening you? So yes, it points you. So everything that I offer is founded on the basis of everything that I offer is in recognizing who you are. Because if you have confusion about that, then everything's going to be confused. So the basis of everything that I offer is first and foremost about recognizing who you are. Now, I don't have a method by which I can make you see that. That's something that you have to discover for yourself, but I can point you. So that's how that works. Bali says, can someone write the memberships? So there's three subscription options. One is monthly, which is $97 per month. The second one is quarterly, which is $197 per quarter. And the third is annual, which is $597 per year. And we're offering a special offer for the first 25 people who sign up for annual. That's going to be just $397 per year. And you lock that rate in. And then after the first 25 subscribers at the annual rate, we're still going to offer we're going to offer $100 off for the next 3 days for anybody else who signs up at the annual subscription rate. So that's $497 per year. That will also be locked in for as long as you remain a member, but it's only available if you sign up in the next 3 days. Let's see. Santaraj says, I'm here to acknowledge your openness to point me an option in Bangalore when I was trying to sign up for Mastering Your Truth program. Aha. Okay, great. Awesome. By the way, let me know, email me and let me know where you're at with that, because I would appreciate knowing how that's where you're at with that. Loic, you have something you would like to express. If it's going to be brief, I'm happy to hear it. I'll allow you to unmute yourself.
Hi, it's me.
Hi.
In case
Yep.
you didn't remember my face.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd share something I felt when watching the live meeting right now, and I also observed when I went to your website some days ago. It goes against the grain a little because to me something comes off as a little bit salesman-ish in the way you did the presentation today and in the way some of the things on your website work, such as some barrier to watch the video where you have to input your email and stuff, and some kind of the phrasing used and the way the information is presented, the value tactics and stuff. And I really wanted to say that actually, because I've been in a few cases like those, if anyone felt something along the lines that I've felt regarding that, it's unfounded. Like you're, in my opinion, by far, I might be wrong, but in my opinion, by far one of the highest integrity, sincere person I've had the chance to talk with. I've at least got this genuine feeling, but it did in some way. I can tell, oh, he's doing that and this, and then he's gonna say this and blah blah blah, right? I 99.9% of the time, if I watch something like this and I was live on something, I would never care as much as to come on live and express what I'm expressing right now. I'm only doing this because I think I'm not paid by Joey or anything, right? Everybody, just to be clear, like I truly think if I can help anybody that would be like in some kind of way a bit on the fence, I've in some ways benefited from many people's guidance. Amongst those, you are a particular kind, right? And I'd say, thanks to the changes that you've brought on into my life and the person that you've made me become, in some way, I feel now as though it would literally benefit me in some way if people went and engage with what you're proposing to them today.
Thank you very
I
much.
feel like there's something very true in that, and I wanted to say that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. All right.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks, Joy.
Yep. Thank you, Loic. I'm going to mute you just so that there's
Sure. I'm gonna hide my face right now.
Okay. There are a couple of other questions that I saw. If I can find them here. What happened to the chat? There we go. So we said, did I miss some things here? Okay, so Simi says, can I clarify? I'm in the process of awakening. I think I am. Will this help me? If you want to have greater clarity of who you are, what your powers are, what your relationship with reality is, then the Self Mastery Academy can help. If you want to have a better understanding of what your actual direct experience is, and you would like support in pointing you in those ways, then Self Mastery Academy will be helpful to you. And like I said, you can try this out for 30 days. And if you decide it's not for you, I'm happy to give you a complete refund. So I only want people to participate when they're getting benefits. So if for whatever reason you decided it wasn't for you, you can just get your money back. It's not a problem. But yes, I believe it can be very supportive. PR says, I just signed up for the annual membership of $397. If you just signed up and there were and you were one of the first 25, unless I mean we are still live streaming to YouTube. I have no idea how many people are watching that. I'm thinking probably not that many, but I don't know. I would be a little surprised with the numbers here if all 25 were already taken, but you should have seen the number there. Should have told you exactly what the rate is. So it should be 397 if you're one of the first 25. PR says, if my goal is awakening, is it better to join Manifesting Truth or this membership? Well, so if you want, here's how I would think about it. If you want, if what you mainly want is a relatively succinct presentation of the core lessons that will help you to achieve or have success in all areas of your life, including spiritual success. And you want to, and that's mostly what you're looking for. You want that laid out in a clear way, then Manifesting Truth would be the thing to choose. If you want the support in an ongoing way, then from my perspective, if you sign up for the annual subscription right now, especially if you're one of the first 25, then it's kind of an incredible bargain, to be honest. So if you want the ongoing support, that would be, for my money, that would be what I would choose. But I can't choose for you. I don't know. But those are my suggestions. Johanna says, thank you. I'm looking forward to being part of the community. Great. I'm looking forward to you being part of the community. All right, so you want me to read your comment? So PR, I think you're referring to, I agree, Joey is amazing, sincere and kind and awakened. Thanks, Joey, for your kindness through the years. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, so you got the link. Thanks for that. Mo says, thank you, and thank you for the positive impact you've had on my life. Thank you. I appreciate you. Andre says, need to leave as well. Just join the yearly membership too. Awesome. Glad to learn that, Andres. Great. PR. Awesome. So I'm not seeing any other questions. So I think then we can wrap up. So thank you so much to all of you for taking time to be here today. I really appreciate every one of you. It's an honor to know you and serve you, and I look forward to seeing those of you who I will see in the academy and those who I will see outside of the academy. Blessings to you all. Bye for now.